Indiana Fever preseason has officially come, and it has officially gone.
The Indiana Fever did finish the WNBA preseason undefeated.
CaitlinClark is sinking shots from way beyond the arc, distances that hardly seem possible on a basketball court. Meanwhile, LexieHull is becoming the Indiana Fever's go-to player in crunch time. One insider summed it up best. Caitlin might have extended her range even more. She's hitting those long shots like it's no big deal.
The Indiana Fever close out the preseason 3-0, victory against the Mystics, victory against the Brazilian national team, and another victory this afternoon against the Atlanta Dream.
The Indiana Fever wrapped up their preseason with a flawless 3-0 record, but their final win didn't come without some tension. A key player went down with an injury, and there were some eyebrow-raising remarks from the Atlanta Dream. From standout performances to surprising twists, here's the full scoop on how Indiana closed out a perfect preseason in Atlanta. Excited for the season? Drop a "I've got the fever" in the comments. Let's go.
When I watch the Fever, even when they're not at their best, one thing I can't help but think is that they're just going to run teams off the floor and destroy them with their firepower. They just have so many players that can beat you and can score. And, Duana Bonner didn't even start this game. Sophie Cunningham started in her place.
Did you know CaitlinClark was nearly sidelined for the Fever's final preseason game? Less than a day before tip-off against the Atlanta Dream, fans were anxiously refreshing their feeds, waiting for updates. The surprise? Clark had collided with a practice player during the team's last workout, right on the same leg she'd strained earlier. The news had everyone holding their breath.
They're just doing a drill, and if you're looking what happens here. CaitlinClark pulls up. CaitlinClark pulls up immediately. And a lot of people are saying that it's not the end of the...
Picture this. The Fever's medical team quickly huddled around their star rookie, CaitlinClark, while the team's perfect preseason record, 2-0, hung in the balance. Clark was on the bench with an ice pack, and fans everywhere were asking the same thing. Was this a sign of trouble ahead? Social media lit up with questions. Was the pressure of the pros already catching up to her? Would she miss the final preseason game? Could this affect her regular season debut? As the minutes ticked by, the uncertainty only grew.
Coach just mentioned you've been limited in practice this week. Just how are you kind of working back from that leg injury?
Yeah, I think taking my time. I feel really good, honestly, and excited to get out there and play again tomorrow, work on things that we need to work on. And yeah, Maria's been great. Our medical staff has been really helpful. But I feel really good, honestly.
I'm feeling good and excited to get back out there tomorrow, Clark said. We've been focusing on what we need to improve, and Maria's been awesome. The medical staff has really helped me out. Then came the news that had Fever fans breathing a huge sigh of relief. Clark was cleared to play. Not only would she suit up, she'd be in the starting lineup. Just like that, the injury scare faded into the background, no longer the main story.
There's no reason to overdo anything right now. It's been the beginning of the season. Still don't play here for another week, but the last 2 days have been really, really good for myself.
You weren't started? What caused it to get her?
I don't. Probably just a little too much basketball. I think, I love being in the gym, but I think understanding when to be in the gym and, when to recover and things like that. So I think just finding a balance and obviously just getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, it was nothing major or anything like that.
From the moment the game tipped off, it was obvious. Clark wasn't holding back. She pulled up from way beyond the arc, leaving defenders with no chance to contest. Even Sports Illustrated's WNBA analyst Robin Lundberg took notice, posting on X, "I think CaitlinClark may have even increased her range. She's hitting those deep shots like they are nothing."
Irons it. So second attempt, same spot, same result for Maya Caldwell. That's CaitlinClark, top of the key, and drains her first triple of the...
One three-pointer in particular, launched from near the logo, brought back memories of Clark's unforgettable shot at Iowa just a week earlier. Atlanta's defenders could only watch as the ball soared through the air and dropped cleanly through the net. This wasn't just a rookie getting her feet wet. This was CaitlinClark making a statement. By the final buzzer, she had shaken off any doubts from the pregame injury scare, finishing with 13 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds in just 23 minutes.
Natasha Howard gets the bucket. Step back triple. Kelsey Mitchell to the rim. Well, that's CaitlinClark, top of the key, and drains her triple.
Del Mitchell drove to the rim, and moments later, CaitlinClark hit a three from the top of the key. As the final buzzer sounded on the Fever's 81-76 win over Atlanta, they had completed something special, a perfect 3-0 preseason sweep. What began with injury concerns ended with high hopes for what this team could do when the real games begin. With the score tight going into the fourth quarter, it wasn't Clark who took over, it was LexieHull. After quietly sharpening her skills throughout the preseason and adjusting to a new bench role, Hull stepped up when it mattered most. It's worth remembering. Hull finished last season as a starter, proving herself as a strong two-way player and, at one point, one of the league's hottest three-point shooters. Now, she's showing she's ready to contribute in any role the team needs.
And now BG says she's rediscovered her love for the game, saying Atlanta reminds me of home. I'm back in the South, and this was the best decision of my life.
She is completely fine, just needing rest, so we will not see her for the rest of this ball game.
Yeah, we can't give out all our weapons.
Turnover as Matt Caldwell got a little too deep.
Still, with the Fever's new all-star free agent additions, Hull has willingly taken on a new role coming off the bench this season. But in this game, she looked different. There was a new level of confidence in the way she moved, more decisive, more locked in. This wasn't the same player from last year. This was someone clearly ready to make a major impact.
I think more than anything, just being able to practice with our team. We're getting a lot of good reps in practice. And I think, confidence comes from that. Confidence comes from getting the reps, the game-like reps, over and over again in practice. And, our team's super competitive. So every single day that we've had of training camp so far has felt pretty much game-like. Like we're all taking it very serious, and it starts in practice.
The Atlanta Dream didn't back down, challenging the Fever on every possession and threatening to hand them their first preseason loss. The tension in the arena was rising. Would Indiana's perfect run hold? That's when LexieHull stepped up and took control. Just when the Fever needed offense the most, Hull delivered, and did it with striking efficiency. She sliced through defenders, created her own space, and knocked down tough mid-range shots like they were routine. One standout moment came when she split two Dream defenders and finished with a smooth layup at the rim, leaving fans and teammates fired up.
It's like, nah, shoot that thing when you open.
LexieHull getting downhill, finds the bucket and one, as this will be the largest lead for Indiana.
Hull's impact wasn't just on the scoreboard. Her defensive energy disrupted Atlanta's offense, forcing turnovers and sparking fast breaks. Her court awareness helped set up teammates for easy baskets. Down the stretch, the Dream had no answer for her all-around effort. After the game, Fever head coach Stephanie White shed light on Hull's growth. When you accept your role like Lexie does, you can't let it put you in a box, right? White said, pointing to how Hull has not only embraced her responsibilities but continues to grow and push her game to new levels.
Lexie's playing with such a high level of confidence. You saw that the second half of last season, her starting to grow into that. I think you saw it a lot in Unrivaled as well. It unlocked, I think, a little bit of creativity. I think sometimes when you're a young player in this league, when you accept your role as Lexie does, you can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like your role can change throughout the course of a season. Your role can change throughout the course of career.
Coach White also highlighted Hull's growing creativity and the trust she's earned from the team. She's done a really good job of putting herself in position for that. White said, clearly proud of Hull's progress. As for Hull, she credited the intense practice environment for helping her shine in the fourth quarter. Confidence comes from getting the representatives, the game-like representatives, over and over again in practice, she explained. She also pointed to her experience winning a title in the highly competitive Unrivaled 3-on-3 league, saying it sharpened both her defense and one-on-one skills.
That it's going to be an exciting season. I think more than anything, we're a deep team, and I think everyone's really bought into trusting the process. This season, it might not start off super pretty, but we know that putting in the work, putting in, trust into the coaching staff, trust in each other, that by the end of the season we'll be exactly where we want to be. So just excited, with the progress we've made even over just 3 games.
By the time the final buzzer sounded, Hull had gone from role player to game changer, dropping 11 of her 14 points in the decisive fourth quarter to help seal the win. The stats speak for themselves. Her clutch scoring and composure under pressure were exactly what the Fever needed to finish strong. But it wasn't just a standout performance, it might shift the entire dynamic of Indiana's rotation heading into the regular season.
Lexie does. You can't allow it to put you in a box, right? Like you still, your role can change throughout the course of a season. Your role can change throughout the course of career. So you want to be able to stretch and expand. And I think Lexie's done a really good job of putting herself in position for that, running actions for her, allowing her to decision make. Hell, I think in the Washington game, we had her playing some point. So it's a tribute to the work that she's put in, the confidence that she's built with her discipline and work ethic in the off season. And you trust her on the floor. You trust her to make the right play and make the right read.
With Hull emerging as a dependable closer off the bench, the Fever suddenly looked much deeper than many had predicted. In just one game, she may have gone from being a solid contributor to a key piece in Indiana's push to make real noise this season. But the night wasn't without its tense moments, one of which showed a side of CaitlinClark fans always hope they don't have to see. Midway through the second quarter, Clark made headlines for something other than her deep shooting. She was hit with a technical foul, a moment that showed just how fiercely competitive she really is.
Make it 12-3 run, as they are now just down 1 point.
Picture this. Clark tries to thread a bounce pass, but it's picked off by the Dream and quickly turned into a fast break layup by Brianna Jones. Clark clearly felt she was fouled on the play, and she let the frustration show. As soon as the bucket went in, she fired the ball against the base of the hoop. The ref didn't hesitate. Technical foul, Clark's first of the preseason. But what happened next showed the kind of chemistry this Fever team is already building. Sophie Cunningham, known for her own intense style of play, immediately stepped in. As Clark continued to voice her frustration to the refs, Cunningham calmly pulled her away before things could get worse. It was a veteran move, Cunningham acting as the steady hand, protecting her teammate from letting emotions turn into a bigger issue.